What up, YouTube? How's it going? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see everybody. Hope everyone is doing well and having a lovely, lovely, lovely morning so far. Let me get over to the channel here and open up. Good afternoon. Where's Pasta? I guess we'll find out. What's up, Eric? What's up, Rob Smith? Welcome. Glad you could make it. Good to see ya. And guys, we are already, howdy. We're already over 30 on the YouTube. We're 36 on YouTube. 18 over on Live Me. Karen says good morning to Lucy. Lucy says meow. Get your news on with Ron. Did you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Did you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Did you want to know what's going on? Getting our news on today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, or good afternoon, or good evening. Huh? What up? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means you guys tweet me articles at Ron Placone. We go through them together. Or you put them in our Reddit subsection, reddit.com/r/getyournewsonwithron. Thank you guys so much for being here and for being a part of this. I'm seeing all kinds of wonderful comments from everybody. The sound is getting better. I got a new microphone. I really dig the microphone. This is not a Death Cab t-shirt. This is a band. This is the band Death. They are a proto-punk band out of Detroit, Michigan. They started in the late 60s, I believe. There's a documentary about them out called A Band Called Death, and their story is very, very beautiful. Basically, they were playing punk rock before punk rock was a thing. And, yep, Freaking Out is one of their tunes. And they are, yes, this is a Blue Yeti mic, absolutely. And, yeah, I recommend checking out Death. They're freaking awesome. I got to see them live a couple years ago at Riot Fest. And it blew my freaking mind. Thoughts on Death Cab for Cutie? I'm more of a Postal Service guy. You know, I really dig Postal Service a little more than Death Cab. And then I kind of got off the boat after that first Postal Service album. But, you know, what are you going to do? So, guys, here is the question of the day. So, I don't want to spend too much time on this topic, and I know you guys are probably already tired of it. Favorite Postal Service song? You guys know if you want to get my attention, just bring up music, and we will divert right away. My favorite Postal Service song is that, last night I had that strange dream that everything was exactly how it seems. There was never any mystery of who shot John F. Kennedy. It was just a man with something to prove, slightly bored and severely confused. That's my favorite Postal Service song. I'm not gonna play it anymore. I don't want to get a copyright strike. I think you're allowed to play a few seconds. YouTube did not notify people again. Guys, you just got to commit it to memory. Every Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm here. That's when I'm here. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. YouTube ain't notifying. And Watson, and yeah, I don't know what's up, everybody, over on the Live Me's. Yeah, I know that my future on Live Me is questionable. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but yeah, I mean, if you guys aren't digging it, you know, I can kind of jump off of it whenever we choose to. There's supposed to be a new app There's supposed to be a new streaming app that I might look into. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, let's move on with the question. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I know we've already talked about it, but I thought we would do a prediction question today. Now, here's the prediction. Now, precursor, don't answer this as a should they, okay? We're looking for predictions. So here's today's question. Will MSNBC, as of the recording of this, will MSNBC fire Joy-Ann Reid? And this is prediction. This isn't about should they or should they not. That's a good question, Joe. Joe said, will HRC ever do any self-reflecting? Joe, the answer is no. But our question, all right, Zev says no. Kira says no. James says no. Nathan says nope. Bluebell says, oh, hell no. Shovendiv, nope. Doubt it, no, probably not. No way in heck, probably not. How about a raise? I predict they will not fire her. God, I wish. Unlikely, for sure. No. Oh, hell no. Seriously. Obviously, she will not in response to Joe's questions. No, don't think so. She's too popular. No, I doubt it. Probably not. Not without backlash affecting advertisers. Not a chance. All right. No. Nah. I know Ron is here, but you have to find the link to get here too. MSNBC won't fire her. The Mick Resistance loves her. There will be outrage from the Mick Resistance crowd if they fire her. They ate up her. They hacked my blog nonsense. Yes, she won't be fired. Nicholas said yes, but then I see what you did there, Nicholas. Just so somebody started out with the word yes. Man, I almost want to say yes, they will, just so I can be different. But I'd be lying if I mean I don't feel that way. I don't think they're gonna fire her. I think they're already trying to brush this under the rug. But the lefties who she argues with all the time will always have this in their arsenal. Joy is safely in War's pocket. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna fire her. And here's the thing, I'll say this, like, I am one of those people that anybody, regardless of how much I disagree with them on a daily basis, which I disagree with pretty much 100% of what Joy Reese says. You know, I think she is more hurtful, I think, to the progressive movement than the right wing is, because she pretty much is the right wing. She's just in disguise. I mean, that's the thing. We have to. I really am trying to promote that whole conservatives in denial thing, because it's like don't even call them liberals. It's bad. Like the New York Times just wrote an article recently about how liberal is such a great tag and progressives not even. So take that away from them. Technically, they're not even liberal. They're conservative. They're in any other cappuccino conservatives. Joe points out the term that Marcus coined. Like they're not, like, they're conservatives. They're not. In no other country would they be considered remotely to the left. In no other country, they would be considered. In most cases, they're to the right of the Conservative Party. There are quote unquote liberals in the US that are to the right of the Tories over in the UK. They're to the right of their conservative. So they're not supposed to. Let's just stop even like calling them that. They're conservatives. I still like Starbucks. We can say Starbucks conservatives too. As long as the word conservatives in there, I'm happy. I like Starbucks conservatives. I like cappuccino conservatives. Marcus also has dandelion Democrats. I like that. That's clever. But stop. And you know what? The Mick Resistance really hates it when you call them conservatives. They really hate it. They really hate it when you call them conservatives. So anyway, regardless of who you are, I totally believe you are capable of evolving. So if Joy Reid would have just owned that and she would have said, you know what, and I don't know her background, so I don't even know if she grew up in a religious background. So, like, but I'm just for an example's sake, if she would have said, you know what, I grew up in a strict religious right background. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know. I'm just like spitballing. And she said, you know, I grew up a certain way. I was taught these certain things, and I used to feel that way. And then I grew up, and I learned, and I evolved a little bit more. And you know, you're never. I still, it still blows my mind that an adult would write something so juvenile. Like, it wasn't that it was just homophobic, but it was just really juvenile homophobic. Like, it just had nothing to do with anything. Like when you're talking about, if you were talking about gay marriage and somebody goes, well, most people don't like seeing two men kiss. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? What is that? That's just a dumb, rude thing to say. Like, that's all that is. So again, it still blows my mind that an adult wrote that stuff. But she could have just been like, you know, I used to really see things differently, and I've learned and evolved since then, and I've changed the way I see things. We all learn and evolve. That's part of like being human. And I totally ruined my statement by throwing like in there. That's part of like being human, right? I should have, that's part of being human. It is part of being human. Some people get on my case for it, even. Some people are like, well, Ron, you used to be a little more sympathetic to the Democrats like a year and a half ago. Like, yeah, because that was before they smacked us in the face at every turn. You know, at first on the campaign trail, I was willing to hear Hillary out. And you know what Hillary told me? I don't want you. Don't vote for me. Don't follow me. I don't want you or anybody like you. You almost caused a revolution with Bernie Sanders. And you know what I say to that? Screw you. The establishment is gonna rig it for me anyway. You want me to ditch fracking? I'm not gonna. You want me to ditch war? I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be the most hawkish Democrat you've ever seen. And I'm gonna pick a VP pick to my right just to give you a final fuck you. That's what was said to me. So I evolved accordingly. That's called growing up. That's called responding to the reality you're given. That's what that is. So I slowly realized that no, the Democrats aren't an incremental solution to what I want. The Democrats are actually a hindrance to it. At least the ones with power are. Most people that identify as Democrat don't feel that way and aren't that way. A lot of the people trying to primary out these establishment candidates don't feel that way, and I totally support them and will totally vote. There's a lot of progressives running. Some of them have a D next to their name. Some of them have a Green Party next to their name. Some of them have an independent next to their name. Some of them have Republican next to their name even. And I vote policy, not party. So I'd be happy to vote for any of them if they're a candidate that I wanna vote for. But anyway, my point is, anyone's capable of evolution, but the fact that she is coming up with the most bogus of excuses after she previously admitted to it, and then she's coming up with these excuses that are just beyond laughable. That shows that she doesn't really care. That shows that, and again, her opinions are just up for sale to the highest bidder. They're up for sale to whoever buys them. That's why I don't really care what she thinks, because it's not really a genuine analysis anyway. It's just bought and paid for. So, and I think this whole rhetorical situation proves that. You know, if she truly had introspection and she truly had principles, she would own it. And she would say, yeah, I used to feel this way and I've evolved and I'm sorry. And I can't think of anything less progressive than telling somebody they're not capable of change. That's what she could say. But, you know, she doesn't. Instead, she's just trying to dodge this for the sake of her ratings. So anyway, let's move on. You guys have been sending some cool stuff. I want to get right to it. I want to start with what Lay sent in. Lee, I'm sorry. I did it again. I'm sorry, Lee. I did it again. I've done it a bunch. Are you in Ireland? Is that where you're at? Because I'm trying to come to Ireland. Lee, if you're on the chat, let me know. I'm trying to come to Ireland this fall. I'm working on it. Professor who called Barbara Bush an amazing racist won't be fired. Good. The uproar over a Fresno State professor who tweeted out insults about Barbara Bush the night of the former First Lady's death has run up against what appears to be the conclusive end to the controversy. The university has announced it can do nothing to punish her. Good. Randa Jarar, a tenured professor at California State University at Fresno, tweeted out that she was happy the witch is dead, and that she couldn't wait for the rest of her family to fall to their demise the way 1.5 million Iraqis have. Barbara Bush was a generous and smart, amazing racist who, along with her husband, raised a war criminal. Okay. You know, do I would I have tweeted something like that? No, I wouldn't have tweeted that. But should she be fired? Abso-freaking-lutely not. I'm sorry. And is that an insensitive thing to say in light of someone's death? Sure. You know what else is insensitive? Illegal wars. Illegal wars are insensitive. I posted a joke about Barbara Bush, and it cost me. A couple people unfollowed me on Twitter. A couple people left my Patreon. And my joke was eons lighter than what this professor tweeted, by the way. It was not even an insult. It was a very soft joke. It was a joke that if you would have worded it differently, you could have told it at the woman's wake. And again, George points out, it was a harsh tweet, but the Iraq war was pretty harsh too. Abigail says, I liked your joke, Ron. Thank you very much, Abigail. I appreciate it. A lot of people liked it, but some people didn't. And, you know, such is life. But yeah, I totally get the whole let's not tarnish the dead sentiment. I do get that. But these are war criminals that have more wealth than you and I can ever imagine. And my joke was, all right, I'll repeat the joke. Usually in cases like this, the husband dies before the wife. So even when it comes to dying, the Bushes can't get anything right. So that was my tweet. And a lot of people liked it. Some people didn't. And the thing is, you could have literally told that joke at her wake if you worded it differently. At her wake, you could have been like, you know, usually in cases like this, the husband goes first. But, you know, Barbara, she was never one for tradition. You could have literally done that joke at her wake. Like, that's how, like, it was totally a, you know, I mean, yeah, it was a burn, but it was like, come on. It wasn't insulting to her. It wasn't I mean, was it making light of the fact that we die? Sure, but guess what? We freaking die. That's how this ends. We die. So, like, anyway, it was such a soft joke, and some people got offended anyway. But, I mean, that's life. You know, I've been a comedian long enough. I don't see anything offensive about it either, lady. I don't think it's offensive at all. But some people were, and such is life. And whatever. We're all gonna die anyway. That's just life. And say la vie. But as far as this professor, no, she shouldn't be fired for it. When it comes to war crimes, that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. And, you know, these are people in the public spotlight that the actions of their family has had complete dire consequences beyond that. And so, yeah, I mean, was it a little harsh as far as like a tweet about someone that just died? Yeah. But how many Iraqi civilians did the Bush family apologize for? When did she, in fact, she tweeted something, she said something along the lines of she's bothered when they talk about civilian deaths and soldier deaths. That bothers her. that interferes with her safe space. That's something Barbara Bush said. She also went along with multiple war criminals because they were her family. She said the people in New Orleans were better off. The Katrina victims were better off, you know, because they're poor. So, yeah, I don't have any sympathy for their family or for her. And I certainly do not think that a professor who vented those frustrations should be fired. So I'm glad she's not being fired. I'm thrilled she's not being fired. Would I have tweeted that myself? No, I wouldn't have. But I'm glad she's not being fired. And Lee, thank you for sharing the article. All right. We're moving right along. All right, we're going to go over to France, to Macron. Let me give this a Get Your News On with Ron retweet. This is from Edwin. Good morning, Kimmy. How are you? I saw your Twitter message, by the way. Macron uses American poem to stress alliance. Okay. The latest on French President Emmanuel Macron speaking in front of a joint meeting of Congress. I have a rendezvous with death. French president used those chilling words from an American soldier poet to stress the historical alliance between the U.S. and France in his speech to Congress. They were written by Alan Seeger a century ago in the World War I battlefields of northern France. His bones now lie mixed in with those and others who died alongside him. And he died on July 4th, 1916. French President Emmanuel Macron is urging the United States against closing the door to the world. In his address to Congress, he said Americans and Europeans are living in a time of anger and fear. But these feelings do not build anything. You can play with fear and anger for a time. Anger only freezes and weakens us. We can choose isolationism, withdrawal, and nationalism, but closing the door to the world will not stop the evolution of the world. He spoke after a state visit with Trump, who has pushed an American first agenda. He's also lashing out against fake news. So that's really interesting that he would use a poem written by a soldier who died in battle as justification for endless war. Sounds like that's what he did, right? Am I reading into that wrong? He's saying don't close the door to the world. Don't pick isolationism. Sounds like he's using that poem to justify endless war. A poem written by a soldier who died in battle. Balthazar, thank you very much for your super chat contribution. Ron, when it comes to raising war criminals, just say no. The legacy of that family is why we're going through shit today. You are absolutely right. Daniel, why is HuffPo attacking Kucinich? Tweet me the article about it so we can talk about it. Jason, you're with me. Sounds like that to me also. So, you know, Macron is, you know, is another conservative in denial, just across the pond. And he's using a poem written by a soldier who died in battle to justify endless war. Platypus, thank you very much for the super chat contribution. I have a poem about death in cartoons and 9/11. Daniel, you send an article. Oh, you don't have Twitter? Send it to the Reddit. It's reddit.com/r/getyournewsonwithron. Or we can Google it, but some people have been tweeting some stuff, so I'm going to try to go in order here. This looks like maybe a happier story. This is from Marcus. So we're going to go here next. "13 semis line Detroit freeway to help man considering suicide. If you or a loved one is feeling distressed, call the national..." Oh, wait, that's just a commercial at the beginning for the suicide hotline. "The Michigan State Police organized a unique way to help a man who was threatening suicide on a highway overpass. They pulled together multiple semi-truck drivers to help shorten the fall. I'm not trying to make light of it, but that is, I mean, that's kind of that's sort of funny a little bit, right? It's like they're like, well, you can't. You're just gonna land on this truck, dude. You might as well. You're just gonna get a sprained ankle at best. You should just come on, right? Like, I'm just saying, if that was me and I was gonna jump, and then a bunch of semis lined up, and they're like, "Sorry, bro, you can't." I think I would laugh. I think I would just laugh at the whole situation. And I would not want to jump anymore, I think. You know, right? Is that... I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just saying, I mean, sometimes you got to make light of it or you'll go insane. You know? I mean, because the reality is we all die. Thank you for the super chat contribution, Balthazar. You'd think someone who was sleeping with his teacher would have had better instruction. Melon Champ would have been so much better. I'm not quite sure what that's all in reference to, but right on. So anyway, so let's see. The man did not jump. The situation ended as he walked off the bridge. Then he was taken to the hospital for an evaluation. The police took him to the hospital. Hey, cool. I'm glad he didn't. Yeah, I mean, you got to laugh at tragedy sometimes. And yeah, that's the theme today. Joe's noticing the theme is that we all die. That's the theme of today's stream. We all die. And you know, it's one of those things. Kimmy points out, if a bunch of tough road warriors are empathetic enough, there is hope. Don't talk to him about what led him to that point. Just break his fall, I guess. Well, I hope they do talk to him about it. I mean, I hope that at the hospital he gets some psychiatric care. I don't know what's going to happen, but I understand your point. And that's no one here gets out alive in the game of life. It's very true. Thank you for sharing that, Marcus. It's, I guess, to some extent, a feel-good story. It's an interesting story, and I like it. And I'm glad this guy didn't kill himself. And I hope that he goes a step further and gets... You know what's interesting here? Going on Abby's comment, you're never going to see... We're not going to see a follow-up on this. You know what I mean? Like, we're not... Like, we'd have to email the dude to frickin' ask him. Like, they're not going to do a follow-up. Like, hey, that guy, Daniel, 5 to 1 is my favorite Doors song, and it is the song that I used to go up to in stand-up comedy. That was like my intro song for a long time. Sometimes it still is, but I usually use American Jesus by Bad Religion now. But yeah, we never do a story of like, hey, this guy was mentally distraught and was a wreck and was going to end it, and this psychiatrist got him through it, or this social worker got him through it, or this significant other helped get it, or this album changed his freaking life and made him realize there's so much beautiful art in the world, I'm not going to give up hope. We never hear those stories. We only hear the stories of, hey, this guy was going to jump and they stopped him from jumping. And we're never going to see a follow-up on, and this is what happened next. He didn't jump, which I'm glad he didn't jump. I'm thrilled he didn't jump. But yeah, I mean, maybe we would have less suicides in this world if we actually talked about what gets people mentally out of that state. Because, you know, it's hard to understand the psyche, and I know what it feels like to be depressed. I mean, we all do. That's part of life. I know what it feels like to really feel hopeless. And there have been times in my life where I felt kind completely broken. And I thought, that, sorry, somebody mentioned Phil Oakes, and I actually, I've been reworking an updated version of Love Me, I'm a Liberal, that if all goes as planned, Mr. Jimmy Dore and I are going to do as a duet. Well, actually, Steph's probably going to sing too. She's the best singer out of the three of us. She's actually trained. So anyway, that's something to look forward to. But anyway, so yeah. I think that would be a pretty cool thing if maybe we talked about what brought people to that point and how they got out of it. But that's not as sexy as not jumping off a bridge, but being there and trucks blocking it. You know, that's not as sexy of a story. Be the guy that does that, Ron. That would be rad. Hey, well, let's figure out the stories, you know. But yeah, anyway, I know what it's like. I mean, we all know what it's like to be depressed. We all know what it's like to feel hopeless. And for me, it was always just like, well, things can only go up from here. So they're just going to go up. So I'm going to try to see them go up. But I can think of, I mean, I'll tell you this. The album, Clear Eyes, Full Heart, the first Craig Finn album, when my engagement ended, you know, me and my ex-fiance, when we broke up, and I lost my condo and I lost my residence and I lost my, I lost a lot and was living in my car, had to put my cat in foster care with my parents for a while until I got back on my feet. You know, I felt so depressed, and every day getting out of bed was a chore. And, you know, that first Craig Finn album, Clear Heart, Full Eyes, I think is what it's called. Clear Heart, Full Eyes, I think. As far as now, I listen to that every day, and it really helped me get through. Yeah, you never hear those stories. You never hear the story of, when I was at the bottom, this is what helped me get through. And it's for me, it's always been a combination of things. It's a combination of loved ones. It's a combination of knowing that better times are ahead. It's a combination of music, just all, you know, list goes on and on. In art, and even just reading books, you know. And hey, you know, and hey, just a public service announcement. I really feel like this show is a community in so many ways. So if you're ever feeling down, feel free to email me, and I will help you the best I can. Feel free to email me, and you know, we can totally talk it out. And I'm serious. I'm not being like, I'm being totally sincere, because you know, I've lost a lot of friends and loved ones to suicide. I think we all have. So you know, if you're ever feeling down, you can always email me, and I will help you the best I can. Even if it's just like, Ron, I'm really depressed, give me some music to listen to, that would help. My email address is ronplacone@gmail.com, but you can just go to my website, ronplacone.com, and there are links to email me there. All right. There's no money to be made. Balthazar, thank you for the super chat contribution. There's no money to be made with preventative and rehabilitative care compared to pharmaceutical and commercial care. As long as gambling addicts can be marketed to by the casinos, suicidal can be marketed by gun and pharma. That's true. All right, let's move on. We somehow made a feel-good story depressing. It's my fault. All right. Let's see. We're getting a lot of stuff sent. So let me see where we're at. Oh, this is from Phil. We're going to go here. And I am stoked about this story because it already looks hilarious. Amazon workers boo Jeff Bezos in Berlin. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos received a hostile reception when he arrived in the German capital to pick up an innovation award on Tuesday. Some 450 Amazon workers who are members of the powerful Verdi trade union amassed outside the offices where the award ceremony was taking place, carrying cards reading "Make Amazon Pay." Amazon workers from other countries, including Poland and Italy, also traveled to Berlin to join the demonstration. "We have a boss who wants to impose American working conditions on the world and take us back to the 19th century. Now, let's stop right there, guys. And let's underline this. I love this article, too. This article, by the way, is from Quartz. In other places in the world, when they want to describe a negative working condition, they say American working conditions. When they say the word or the phrase American working conditions, people realize that that's a negative thing. They realize that's a thing that you don't want. The rest of the industrialized world looks at us and says, this is not what we want. And they realize that, so Andrea Nalla is the new leader of the Social Democrats, turned up at the protest too. She had some harsh words for Bezos. He didn't deserve his prize since he treats his employees badly. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at innovation. He found a really innovative way to exploit the world. Platypus, thank you very much for the super chat contributions. My poems got me through. They saved me, especially the one I just tweeted you, Ron. I think the gang would like it. Cool. I will. We'll try to check that out at the end. Maybe close on something like that. And keep in mind, guys, Germany just won a 28-hour work week. That's what Germany did. They just got a 28-hour work week. The unions won it. And I'm thrilled that they did. But they know what Bezos is trying to do. And he does exploitation around the world. There's been truck drivers in the UK that work for Amazon. And they have to pee in bottles to make their routes. What Amazon used to do here in the States, they used to do a thing where when you were a warehouse worker, if you didn't meet a certain quota, they would not pay you. And that they later got, you know, it's been stopped since, to my knowledge. So people that defend Bezos, they say like, oh, well, he's gotten a little better. Yeah, he went from being completely inhumanely brutal to just pretty brutal. Like, and this is a guy that could single-handedly end homelessness in America. He could end poverty and still be one of the richest people in the world. He could literally end those things, still be one of the richest people in the world. And he doesn't even pay his employees a living wage. He doesn't even give them air conditioning in their warehouse, excuse me. I mean, this is, I mean, you want to talk about mental illness. This is a sociopath. This is a total psychopath. I mean, if somebody went up to the average person and said, you have all this wealth, you could end poverty, you could end homelessness, still be one of the richest people in the world, still have more money than you could ever spend, you and your family and your children and I mean, you will never have any need. It'll be taken care of, and you can still do all this. And you don't even consider it. You actually tweet when you're looking for philanthropy things to do. You're like, what do we do? I don't know what we could possibly do. Jeff Bezos. I mean, this is, and we celebrate this. We celebrate this sociopathic mentality. Balthazar points out, Germany wins a 28-hour work week because of strong labor. Tom Perez sues WikiLeaks. Great priorities. When you lead with your lawsuits, you're bound to rig 2020. So yeah, I mean, Jeff Bezos, I think tone deaf Brian is putting it too lightly. Because there's no way. I mean, he's an intelligent guy. He's not clueless. I mean, is he tone deaf? Sure. Does he have anything close to relatability to the average person? Of course not. But this is more than just tone deaf. This is a true psycho. This is a true predator. And again, he's trying to monopolize food because he bought Whole Foods. He owns a newspaper that never saw war, didn't like. So he's trying to control food. He's trying to control media. He already controls logistics. He's going to get into water. He is going to get into water. And, you know, I say it half joking, half serious. I would not be surprised if we at one point had to say the words, "Hail Emperor Bezos," here in the United States. I'll be gone before it happens. I'll be in Canada or Germany or somewhere else before something like that happens. I'd like to think I'll sniff it out quick enough, and I hope all of you go too. I will leave this country before something like that happens. But yeah, this guy is a true megalomaniac psychopath. He looks like Lex Luthor. and yeah. So I'm glad they booed him. Beyond deserved. Platypus points out, why the fuck would anyone need $1 billion? What do you do with it? Well, you could use it to help people. You could use it to help people. All right. So somebody tweeted this, and I want to talk about this because I saw this. This article is from the Washington Post, ironically enough, which, by the way, is the newspaper that Jeff Bezos owns. I just accidentally typed T instead of an R, so it said, "Get your news on with ton." We're getting our news on a ton, huh? Right? That's what we're doing. Bernie Sanders to announce plan to give every American a job. Senator Bernie Sanders will announce a plan for the federal government to guarantee a job paying $15 an hour and health care benefits to every American worker who wants or needs one, embracing the kind of large-scale government projects that Democrats, have shied away from in recent decades. Sanders' jobs guarantee would fund hundreds of projects throughout the United States aimed at addressing priorities such as infrastructure, caregiving, the environment, education, and other goals. I hope other goals doesn't include war. I'd imagine it doesn't, but I'm really hoping it doesn't. Under the job guarantee, every American would be entitled to a job under one of the projects or receive job training to be able to do so, according to an early draft of the proposal. A representative from Sanders' office said they had not yet done a cost estimate for the plan or decided how it would be funding, saying they were still crafting the proposal. I know where we can get some money. Guys, I know, you know those billions of dollars in bonuses you give for bomb money each year? Just cut that. Just cut it. Just cut it completely. Just the bonuses. Just no bonuses. You're still paying more for your military than about the next 13 countries combined. Just go ahead and cut that, huh? Balthazar, thank you very much for the super chat contribution. There's no money to be made with preventative and rehabilitative care compared to pharmaceutical and commercial care. As long as gambling addicts... Oh, I already read that one. I'm sorry. Balthazar, here's your other one. The one industry where automation would be an improvement is Amazon. It would actually improve overall worker care. That said, he needs to pay back taxes. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing about him. He pays zero. He pays zero taxes. Ron will have to explain to Dems in 2028 that taxing the millionaires to remove taxes on the trillionaire to finance his space situation is bad. Yeah, not taxing Bezos is bad. Yeah, it is. You should tax the millionaires and the billionaires. They should be paying most of the taxes. Yeah. Yeah, if you're a billionaire, you should pay taxes. And a lot of them. And you shouldn't get tax breaks when you don't even give your employees a living wage. In fact, he should be taxed more. There should be a thing where if your working conditions don't meet a certain threshold, and that threshold should actually be a good threshold, you have to pay even more in taxes. And until your taxes, and it should really hurt. So that way you have an incentive, and a big one, to not be an evil plutocrat. You think he's going to build a space station, though, Balthazar? I believe it. That space station will bring jobs. They'll bring jobs where he's going to make you work at a warehouse in Pluto. Where it's like, isn't Pluto's that's where like, is it Pluto? Or no, I think it's Jupiter. Is it Jupiter where gravity is like 2 times heavier? Or like way heavier than here. So like if you lifted a box, it would be twice as heavy. Is that Jupiter? I want to say it's Jupiter. He'll open a warehouse there. He'll be like, you have to, the boxes are going to be twice as heavy, but it saves us on something. I think it's Jupiter. I'm going back to like 7th grade science class. Okay. I don't remember for sure, but I know there's an information superhighway where I can find that answer, but whatever. Sanders joined 2 other rumors, 2020 Democratic presidential contenders who have expressed support for the idea of a jobs guarantee. Well, who else expressed support for it? Let's see if they tell us. If it's Cory Booker or his ilk, guess what? They're supporting it because it's convenient to do so right now. Critics point to potential unintended consequences in the plan. Although it would probably boost wages for workers, those higher wages could bump up costs for private businesses, leading some to hire fewer workers or take other steps. P.S. The average income gap between the CEO and the worker is 300 to 1 in the United States, which is unheard of in any other country. Unheard of in any other country. Completely unheard of in any other country. 300 to 1. And that's on average. Del Monte, it's over 1,000 to 1. Over 1,000 to 1. Del Monte, they make canned fruit. CEO makes over 1,000, that of the average worker. But we're worried that the price of products might go up. How about we put a price ceiling on CEO pay? How about we put a price ceiling on it? We're still going to have one of the biggest rich and poor gaps in the world. I mean, this isn't some crazy radical notion here. We'll still have one of the biggest rich and poor gaps in the world. So the critics of the plan should just shut up with their straw man. So this is gaining traction among Democrats. Kristen Gillibrand, Cory Booker. Although Cory Booker also announced his intention to introduce a separate bill that would create a pilot program for a job guarantee in 15 rural and urban areas. Yeah, and I think they're just supporting it because it's convenient to do so. It's convenient to support it now. And we got to close out of some of this stuff because I think my computer is on the brink of freezing here. Yeah, my computer is freezing. All right, guys. So we are totally out of time. We're not actually out of time, but my computer is completely frozen. So I'm going to send you guys off. We're going to end a little early today because I'm probably just going to need to shut down my computer. Yeah, we're completely, yeah. Frickin' Washington Post. Frickin' Washington Post. All right. I'll do the Revolution song. It was requested over on the live me, so I'll close with that. Guys, this has been Get Your News On with Ron. the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. Thank you guys so much for being with this. And I have some announcements. On Friday, guess who's going to be here? I don't even know if this is live anymore. But Peter Douche is going to be on the show Friday. Peter Douche, the Democratic strategist, and my favorite Twitter parody account, Peter Douche, is going to be on this show Friday. So get your questions ready for that. And happy World Penguin Day, everybody. And hey, I really want to expand the show, be in a situation where my computer doesn't freeze. How can you help me do that? Become a patron, patreon.com/Ron Placone. Give it whatever level you're comfortable with, and you get 2 pieces of content every week. You get a piece of content on Wednesday, a piece of content on Sunday. You get a podcast on Sunday. And something will be later today for all the patrons, and you can pay at any level you want. And you get free tickets to my shows when I'm in your town. And you're going to get my album delivered to your inbox when it's finished later this year. All that at any level you're comfortable with. Joining the Patreon. All patrons get all that content. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. Doing the same thing, expecting differences is what it means to be insane. Having to choose between more and more is not what it means to play the game. Why does it put your mind at ease to ignore this big disease? Why do you like to sit and pretend when you always know the end? Go tell the BBC, go tell the CIA. It's time for revolution. Go tell the DSA, GP, and SA. It's time for revolution. Throwing you a single from. Someone needs compromise. Some college trained in rhetoric, but I just call it telling lies. When you reach a point of crisis, the status quo, it needs to change. And if you can't understand that truth, well, it's time to get out of the way. Go tell the BBC, go tell the CIA. It's time for revolution. Go tell the NSA, stop listening to what we say. It's time for revolution. Wise man said that love's the answer. This fool knows that to be true. 'Cause I'm not ready to give up yet. Bug-ass is still in me and you. Don't tell the BBC, I'll tell the CIA. It's time for revolution. I'll tell the DSA, GP, and SA. It's time for revolution. So get your news on. I want to know what's going on. We're getting our news on today. Get your news on. I just want to know what's going on. Let's hope they don't start World War III. You can tweet me an article at Placone. Go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on. I just want to know what's going on. Getting our news on today. Yay, 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 yay. Thank you guys so much. Sorry about the computer freezing. We had to end a few minutes early. I love you all very much. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we do this every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You know the drill. I'm just going to have to shut my computer down here. But I love you all very much. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. This is going to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone, ronplacone.com. Got some more tour dates in the works. I love you all very much.